Hello, bookworms. Welcome back to Book Hangover Club, where the only cure is another great book. Do you like torture? Do you like putting yourself in situations where you know at the end of it, and I'm sorry if you can hear my coffee brewing, but do you like putting yourself in situations where you know at the end of it, the payoff is definitely going to be worth it, but the road leading to that payoff is going to be a hard one? Can anybody relate to that? Because that's how it feels when it comes to what it is we're going to be getting into in today's video. And that is my review of book 2 of the book series Criminal Intentions by Cole McCade. You know what? Do you also love, maybe you don't have a torture kink. I'm not saying I do, but maybe you're not into torture. Maybe you like sitting back and hearing about other people talk about the ways in which they are being tortured, then this video is also for you. So if you'd love to laugh at my pain, or if you're kind of deciding like, should I start this book series? Let me see what Rachel has to say, because I'm not sure if I'm strong enough to put myself through that, then this video is also for you. With that being said, sit back, relax, and let's get into some things because I have a lot to get off my chest. Okay, book 2, Criminal Intentions, Junk Shop Blues. Was book 2 better than book 1? I wouldn't say it was better. I wouldn't say it was worse. I think they were both just as good. The mystery in book 2 wasn't as exciting because, in book 1, spoiler alert, but in book 1, you're kind of dealing with a serial killer, whereas in book 2, it's kind of just, a single homicide. The mystery wasn't as intense. Exciting is the wrong word. The mystery just wasn't as intense, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Are police detectives necessarily chasing down serial killers on a daily basis? No. So I feel like, that aspect of it was very realistic, and I don't mind a little bit of diversity when it comes to the crimes that are being committed or murders that are taking place. That's a weird thing to say. Like, I don't mind diversity when it comes to murder. I'm definitely interested to see, what the mysteries look like in the next books. As far as the book itself goes, I feel like it goes without saying that the book is very well written, and that the plot of the story has a lot of layers. And I say that because just based off of the first book, I could already tell that Cole McCade is an amazing writer, and just the way that he goes about telling the story, it really paints a picture in your mind and you feel like you're there in the story as things are taking place, which can be a little bit scary because, at the beginning of the book, like the very first chapter, another spoiler alert, the first chapter is the establishment of the crime that took place. So you're getting a first-hand look at the victim and what happened to them, how they felt in that moment, and, kind of how they felt being murdered, if I'm being honest. And that aspect of it could be a little bit daunting because it's so well written and you feel like you're there in the room with them, kind of like a fly on the wall watching this thing happen to this person. And you almost feel a little bit helpless because it's like you're there watching, well, at least in my mind's eye, I'm there watching this crime be committed, and it's like I can't do anything to help this person. I'm over here trying to gather clues just to see, if the author might have given us any breadcrumbs into who it is that might have done it. That aspect of the series is something that I really, really enjoy forward to, as I continue to read the books. Now, something that I'm not looking forward to, and this is where the torture comes in. I feel like I am in it for the long haul. Now let's get into where it is when it comes to this book that I feel like I'm being tortured. And that's with the two main characters. Like, I've already started the book and it's already very good. And it's almost like I have to continue because I have to see these two characters finally realize how it is that they feel about each other and get together. I have no choice at this point. I'm already invested in the book. I'm already invested in the characters. I could not walk away never having known what happened. And that sucks because, I'm on book 2. You have so much of a good thing, but the thing that you really really want. You just have to kind of be patient, and eventually you'll get it. You know what? I'm lacking patience. I don't know if that's something that comes with age or getting older, because I read the Hazard and Somerset series by Gregory Ash, and I can't say for sure book for book that the series was longer, because I think there are like 27 books in this series. I could be wrong, there might be more. But individually, the books were a lot longer in length. I think the Hazard and Somerset series, those books were like 5, maybe 600 pages, whereas these books are a little bit shorter, but they definitely don't feel that short when you're reading them. I'm impatient, and I just want these two characters to finally get together and realize their feelings, you know, just fall in love and live happily ever after. But enough of what I want and obviously can't have. As far as the characters go, I feel like we're slowly starting to get glimpses of who these characters are internally, and, you know, what it is that makes them tick, what it is that they've gone through in life to make them who they are at that current moment. I do have one prediction, and I feel like out of the two characters, I feel like both characters will feel the same way about each other equally at some point. You know, Detective Yoon, his feelings are slowly progressing, very slowly, like at a snail's pace, like slowly progressing. Whereas, you know, Detective Kalaji is starting to become a little bit more obvious with his feelings, at least to me. It's just so obvious that he's kind of at that denial stage where it's like he likes Yoon, starting to fall deeper into like with Yoon. He's kind of denying to himself that that is what's taking place. At least he's trying to. Not doing a good job, in my opinion. But anyway, my prediction is that Detective Kalaji is going to be head over heels, whip, very possessive over Yoon, especially when they finally get together. Like, there's no going back. Another thing I loved, which is something I mentioned in my first video, is I genuinely enjoy the side characters. I really like getting little glimpses of them and what it is that's going on with each character. I do have a feeling that the little glimpses that we are getting is kind of a setup for a bigger plot that may take place. Is kind of a setup for a bigger plot or a bigger storyline that may take place as the series progresses. It doesn't feel like these side characters are kind of being shoved down your throat. You just kind of get a little glimpse of them and what it is they've got going on. And then the attention is, you know, immediately directed back to the two main MCs. Do I think anything will happen between the characters in book 3? I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say no. I would compare these two characters to a pot of water you put on the stove, but you put the stove on low. Like, it's going to take time for it to start boiling and for it to eventually boil over. We're only on book 3 and there's so many more books to go. I don't think the author is going to give it to us in book 3, if I'm being honest with you. Shame on him for writing such a good book. I can't help but be attached to these two characters. And once you start the book, it's hard to even put it down until you get to the final page. And then once you finish the first book, it's hard to not just immediately pick up book 2. I'm talking 4 o'clock in the morning, you're just reading and you can't put the book down. I'm talking 4 o'clock in the morning and you're just reading because you can't put the book down. Never mind the fact that you have to wake up at like 6:30 because you work at 7. That's what it was like for me. Kudos to the author, but also shame on you, because why are you putting me through this? Why are you putting me through this type of torture? I know it's going to be worth it when it finally does happen, but I'm weak. That is all I have to say about book 2. Fingers crossed. Don't cross them too tightly, because like, I just have a feeling nothing's happening in book 3. We'll cross our fingers and hope for the best. I'm very excited for book 3. I can't wait to see what the mystery looks like. I can't wait to get to know these characters a little bit more. As far as the spice goes in book 2, does the spice count if the spice is not with the people you want it to be with? That's a good question. Because if it does count, then yes, a little bit spicy. The people I wanted to be spicy with each other were not the people who were being spicy. And does that count as cheating? I don't feel like it counts as cheating. Not technically, but when I'm reading a book and two MCs are meant to be together, I don't want either one of the main characters deviating from the plot and sleeping around with other people. And if you're gonna do it, I don't want to hear about it. Anyway, I'm excited for book 3. Of course, I will be back to tell you guys how I feel what happened. I mean, personally, I do feel like this series is worth your time. Just know what you're in for. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, bookworms, that is all I had for this video. I am excited to get started on book 3. I will definitely be back with another video about book 3. We'll see how fast I can finish reading it. The way I've read book 1 and 2, I feel like book 3 will probably be done in like a day or two, if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, as always, drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book series? Do you plan to read this book series? Have I convinced you? Also, drop down and just recommend books of your own. I'm tired of doing research looking for books. I don't mind getting book recommendations, so drop down in the comments and recommend some books of your own. If you would like to join the Book Hangover Club, please feel free to subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next video.